just on the rumors specifically that are coming out, the Buffalo stuff is the most interesting to me right now because there's like potential names attached. I don't know if it's like Flyers specific rumors, but I'm just kind of seeing a pretty good match there. And I don't know if it was on the Hockey News or the Hockey Writers today. I read a bunch of shit. I don't remember which it was, but it was one of them where it was like, are the Sabres and Flyers a trade match? And I don't think it's a trade deadline thing, but it could be more of an offseason, like what the Sabres are looking for. You know, veteran, tough guy, sandpaper, center. Yeah. Well, we have one of those. Scott Laughton, he's 29. We're looking to trade him, potentially. They have some young dudes, Mittelstadt and Krebs. They've paid a bunch of young dudes. They don't really know if they want to pay a bunch more since the team continues to suck. Like, oh, you know, are we really doubling down on this group? Do either of those guys interest you, Mittelstadt or Krebs?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Look, I've never been a big Casey Mittelstadt fan. Dating back to his draft year, I thought he was overrated. He's having a big offensive year this year. He took a step forward last year. This year, he's close to a point per game. I haven't watched him much since he's taken the step. So my preconceived notion of Casey Mittelstadt is the classic, the classic nickname that he was given. I believe it was by Emmanuel Perry, Casey Middling Stats. Like that's the first thing I think of when I think Casey Mittelstadt. But apparently, he has gotten better. I would have to watch him to have a better understanding as to whether he's actually gotten better or if this is a little bit of a mirage. So my first instinct is to be a little negative on Mittelstadt. Now, Krebs, on the other hand, I like Krebs in his draft year. He was an intriguing guy, and he does play kind of a Flyers-ish style. Like he could potentially develop into a Laughton type, where, and not even in terms of impact, but just in terms of like the style. Where he's an energy guy. He's got some leadership ability. Like, I don't know how that develops over the long term because that depends on the room, but he plays a style that I think if he hits would be popular in Philadelphia. The intriguing thing to me about Buffalo, why Laughton could be a fit there, is again, this all boils down to the fact that the Flyers don't have to trade Scott Laughton. In fact, I would go so far as to say they really don't even want to trade Scott Laughton. If they trade Scott Laughton, it's going to be because they felt like they needed to trade Scott Laughton because the offer was just that good. The thing with Buffalo right now is that I think internally on their side, they believe they have a culture problem. They think that they have a team where they have talent, they have good young players, they don't have the right mix. And if you're looking to fix a culture problem, Scott Laughton is exactly the kind of guy you can talk yourself into overpaying. So to me, that's why it's a fit. It's a fit because Buffalo is the exact type of team that could, you know, over drinks one night be like, you know what, fuck it, let's give him a first round pick for Scott Laughton. Like I could see that because they feel like they need someone like him.
No, it's the exact type of like narrative-y bullshit that teams trick themselves into. And I love Scott Laughton. It's just so like if I'm Toronto or something and like I would think like, yeah, a first round pick for this dude is a good idea because what the fuck do we like? We need to win something. Like, let's get that sandpaper. Like Buffalo, it's like you haven't made the playoffs since 2011. You're giving up a first round pick for Scott Laughton? Like, what? But the thing that really makes me laugh, that I'm glad you made the comparison of Krebs and Laughton, because when I was reading about this potential trade partners earlier, it just reminded me of the Family Guy. It could be anything. Like behind door number one, it's a boat. Behind door number, it could be anything, even a boat. Like trade
the mystery box.
Yeah, like
love
trade
the mystery box
for anything. It could be Scott Laughton. Like that. Just that I found that pretty. I found that pretty entertaining. But we'll see how that all plays out. It's going to be a really, really interesting lead up to this trade deadline. We'll see if things start to heat up. But the rumors are heating up, and that's what's most fun.
We all silly like the mayor.